Gumbadaroo, which is good day in Barragum, the Aboriginal language of the community I grew up on the Darling Downs in Queensland. Firstly, I would like to thank Hella for the opportunity to share with you the work that ALIA, the Australian Library and Information Association, has undertaken to advocate for the SDGs in Australia, and importantly, the role that libraries play in supporting the achievement of the goals. Because the speakers in today's webinar are across so many time zones, I've elected to record my presentation rather than join you at midnight. But if you have any questions, please contact me by email. In July 2017, ALIA asked members how the SDGs featured in their strategic and operational plans. About half of the respondents felt that they related to the forward thinking of their library. But we noted that 20% were not aware of the goals. So ALIA set out to raise awareness within our own sector and to inform government and other stakeholders about the role of libraries in delivering the SDGs. ALIA used 3 conversation starters to frame discussions with government. Firstly, libraries can help to deliver the SDG targets. For example, it is well understood the role that libraries play in contributing to literacy. Secondly, libraries can help report against the SDGs. As a sector, libraries excel at providing statistics, and government needs data in their reporting. And thirdly, libraries can help engage the public. Libraries have significant reach across the Australian community. We often say there are more public libraries than McDonald's cafes in Australia. These conversation starters resulted in strong interest in libraries as a communication channel to raise awareness of the SDGs with the Australian public. In 2017, we gathered stories about how libraries in Australia are supporting the SDGs. ALIA worked with the Australian Public Library Alliance and National and State Libraries Australia to find case studies to support the goals. The case studies enabled ALIA to produce a report in 2018 which included case studies for each SDG. This publication was an important way to build the narrative about how libraries contribute to SDGs. A printed copy was provided to every member of our federal parliament, and there is also a copy on the ALIA website. In July 2019, we held a highly successful summit for library colleagues in Australia and from around the Asia Pacific. Attendance at our Asia Pacific colleagues was assisted by travel grants from IFLA. The summit was intentionally scheduled prior to our national conference so that we could secure attendance by our library leaders. An outcome of the summit was a toolkit for libraries to deliver their own strategic workshops, a set of actions for libraries, and a set of further actions for ALIA. Organisations across Australia are also including the SDGs in their planning. This is the strategic plan for the State Library of Queensland. For the last 3 years, we have referenced the SDGs in our planning. In 2019, Sue McKerricker, the CEO of ALIA, identified that Australian libraries needed to create a framework for measuring the contribution of Australian libraries to the SDGs. In 2019, 20 library leaders gathered at ALIA House in Canberra to debate stretch targets for the sector. We were seeking to achieve a shared understanding of the opportunities and limitations of the SDG goals, targets and indicators. Our aim was to create a new framework for aspirational yet achievable goals and targets. We want to set a number of stretch goals and targets for Australian libraries to achieve by 2030. It's all about making the SDGs relevant to Australian libraries, but also demonstrating how libraries support the achievement of the SDGs. Following the meeting, we produced this draft set of stretch targets as the foundation for discussion across the sector in Australia. This screen provides an example of the target that was developed for equitable access, specifically a measure of digital inclusion. The report is also available on the ALIA website. We have now reviewed the targets and working to confirm 10 stretch targets for Australian libraries for 2020 to 2030. These are long-term goals and we will report on progress in 2025 and 2030. ALIA is working with the Australian Public Library Alliance, the Council of Australian University Libraries and NASLA, the National and State Libraries Australia. It is a whole-of-sector response. Today, I have shared with you the work of ALIA and the Australian Library and Information Sector to progress awareness and understanding of the UN SDGs. My advice is to take it a step at a time. Look at how you can engage with the sector and document the significant work that libraries are already doing to achieve the SDGs. You are then in a great place to engage with government and other stakeholders. All the documents that I have referred to are available on the ALIA website. Please contact me if you would like further information. And thank you for the opportunity to share the Australian experience with you.